Welcome back to my channel, loves. This is Tackle It Thursdays with Simply Drana. So today on Tackle It Thursdays, the key word is mindset. Now, the reason why this is so important is because before we do anything, before we go anywhere, we always think it through. We always think out a plan. Think out a plan of action. Think out how we're going to react once we're in the situation that we're in. So that's why mindset is so very important when dealing with tackling specific issues, if not all of the issues that we face on a daily basis. So when we talk about tackling the issue of mindset, we must first understand that it is necessary to study and do research. Now, when I say study and do research, I'm not talking about going out and finding out different information about something that's completely irrelevant. I'm talking about studying and doing research concerning yourself. Spend time with yourself. Find out what you like to do, what you don't like to do, what makes you happy, what doesn't make you happy. This is important for the simple fact, people who understand who they are don't waste time with frivolous things because it's not important. A book that I thought was very, very crucial to me developing this mindset was by Mark Manson. And it's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Bleep, right? So this book, naturally, when you read the cover, you think, okay, he just doesn't care about anything. But once you dive into the book and fully understand everything that Manson is discussing, you realize that he does actually give a fuck, but he's selective about those things that he chooses to give a fuck to. I think that's what bothers a lot of people today. We tend to spend time worrying about what other people think. You know, if we're going to have the best picture on Instagram, if we're going to have enough likes on Facebook, if enough people follow us on Twitter, when in actuality, these things that we're worried about and that we're focusing on brings upon a negative connotation of what we think is prevalent to society and what's necessary in order to make us happy, right? Exactly. So once you've done the proper study and research about yourself, found out who you are, figure out the things that you like, the things that you don't like, and just really understand the core values of who you are as a person, it's time for you to start picking and choosing what you give a fuck about. Secondly, is about the practice. So now that you have the study habits down, it's time for you to start applying and practicing those study habits. The reason why this is important is because the way you practice is the way you play. So naturally, if I say that I want better things for myself, I want a better life, I want to change things, I'm tired of living in the same situation, I'm tired of going to this day-to-day job, I want to pursue my own dreams, goals, and aspirations, but I'm not getting up and actually practicing and doing what I need to do in order to ensure that I'm able to do that in the near or distant future, I'm not doing everything that's beneficial for me to be able to excel the way that I want to. So when it comes to changing your mindset concerning your mental practices, you have to start thinking clearly. Try meditation. Try yoga. Try writing out a list of things that you choose and want to accomplish, whether it's short-term or long-term goals. This is beneficial because it helps put pen to paper and gives you a visual idea of what you see for yourself in the future. Now, most oftentimes people will say, well, I have a list, I have a goal sheet and things like that. Goal sheet and just creating random lists doesn't help you in the long run. If you think about it, you have to do a little bit more of the grind work. So yeah, you created a list, but did you apply the list? Have you begun making those connections, going to social events, making phone calls, cold calling people? Have you actually done the practices of putting yourself in the positions to where you can see yourself in the near or distant future? If not, then it's your mindset you have to change. Most oftentimes we say, well, I don't know those people. Well, why don't you know them? Because you haven't gotten up and went out to go and meet them. You don't know anyone really until you meet someone. So if you change your mindset, acknowledge that A, you have something to present to the table, and B, you have the drive to make sure that it gets done, it eventually will get done. And last but not least, when we're talking about tackling the Mindset Thursdays, we have to tackle it head on for what it is. Be honest with yourself. Don't give yourself some fairy tale conclusion of, well, I tried, but it didn't work out the way I thought it would. Did you really try? Did you really put yourself in the mindset and the mind frame to where you knew that with every inch of your being that it was going to be done? Did you set up all of the proper practices that needed to be put in place in order to execute that plan effectively? If not, then have you really tackled it? I think not. So today, when we're speaking about tackling it Thursdays, specifically concerning the mindset, we must first understand that it takes studying and research. You have to study yourself, learn yourself, find out who you are and what you truly want out of life. Next, you have to apply those practices. Go out, do things you want to do. Be happy because you want to be happy, not because Instagram tells you you need a new happy post on Instagram. And thirdly, tackle it head on. Give it everything you got and never give up. Because once you tackle your mindset, everything else will fall into place. Your frequencies will be aligned, and then, and only then, will you be able to reach your full potential.